This weekend, pro football is back on Fox as the UFL kicks off on Saturday with the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions taking on the XFL champion Arlington Renegades. And kickoff weekend continues Sunday on ESPN. Kumbaya. All right, well, speaking of the UFL, we have one of my favorite coaches, one of the greatest coaches of the generation. This is not impromptu. This is straight from my heart because I fervently believe it. It's the head coach of the Arlington Renegades right now. That is Bob Stoops. Coach Stoops, welcome to Speak, my friend.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, thank you, Emmanuel. Good to be with you, LeSean and James. Great guys. I love listening to your show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You won the XFL championship last season. How great did that feel?
It felt great. I'll show you. It's right over my shoulder right there.
There you go.
But you know how it is. If you're going to do something, you want to win.
Yeah.
And, we struggled early, and then we figured it out in the back half of the season and won the championship. So anytime you win a championship, it's a lot of fun.
Coach, talk to me about the experience. You coached collegiately at the highest of high levels. Again, when I talk about coaches of this generation, I talk about the U's, I talk about the Mac Browns, I talk about the Nick Sabans, I talk about the Urban Meyers, I talk about the Dabo Sweeneys. When I think about my great coaches of this generation, you are a great coach of this generation. So what has your experience been like coaching in the XFL and now UFL?
Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. You're kind to say all that. I'd say the most fun part of this is you guys all were professional players. You get it. I'm just coaching football, period. When I leave the field, I don't have to go to an academic meeting. I don't have to go to a recruiting meeting. I don't have to go to a compliance meeting. I don't have to call Johnny's parents because Johnny won't go to class. So at the end of the day, it's all just football, and that's fun. And as you guys know, too, I'm working with grown men who have families, who pick up the game easily because they played so much football, and they're guys that love to play football. So it's really a joy coaching these guys.
Hey, Coach Stoops, listen, I'm available. If you need a running back, I know you know running back. If you need a running back, I am available. Let's let you know that.
Hamstring gone.
I'm good.
I'll take LeSean any day. You know that. Heck yeah.
I want to ask you this, though. There's so many different changes with the NFL, the UFL. And I want to ask you, what are some of the new changes with the rules that we can expect to see this year?
Well, it's interesting. The big news this week has been the NFL picking up last year's XFL kickoff rule, and kickoff return rule, and which was really exceptional. And I was skeptical when I first saw it being implemented last year. But the first game I saw it live, I loved it. I thought, this is fantastic. And, but anyway, outside of that, most of the other rules are all pretty much the same. The extra point rules are different. After a touchdown, instead of kicking a boring extra point, we could go for 1 from the 2-yard line. We could go for 2 points from the 5-yard line, and we could go for 3 points from the 10-yard line. So depending on the score, you're never like out of reach, or you always can come back. So it's makes it really different. There's the kickoff rule that oddly we're not actually using it this year.
So you like the new rules? It sound like to me.
I do. I thought that this was really positive. Here's the problem. You guys get this. It's the whole pageantry of the kickoff. 20% of them, give or take, are returned. So it's go out there, line up, let everyone look at you, line up, kick it in the end zone, or fair catch it, and there's no return. Right. I mean, it's boring. This way, our returns last year were around 85%, and therein lies the difference. You want action, you're going to get more action that way.
There you go. Speaking of action, right? You were the XFL last year. You merged with the USFL. Just touch on the talent, right? Because this is two leagues merging. Yeah. Like, is your team way more talented knowing that you merged with the USFL? How's the talent out there knowing that those guys trying to get back to the NFL?
Yeah, James, you're absolutely correct. You think of, we had 2 leagues, 16 teams. They cut half from each league, 4 teams from each, and only have 8 teams now. So we got to choose the best players from those 8 teams not playing anymore. Well, that's right. You know what it's like. Think of think you guys get it. Think of the last 8, 10 players cut from every NFL team. Those are really good football players.
That's true.
And now they're all divided up into just 8 teams instead of 16. Our talent level's crazy different than it was a year ago, and I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure that's going to be the case for every team.
There you go.
Coach, exhale real quick, because now we've talked UFL, but I want to just talk ball with one of the smartest minds. Let's talk college. You were at college for a long time, and you were one of the best, like I've already said, to ever do it. But, Coach, the landscape of college football is different. If y'all are watching at home, turn your volumes up because it's about to get good. Coach, I'm interested. It's about to get better. I'm interested. We've seen the head coach at UCLA, Chip Kelly, leave being a head coach and go become an offensive coordinator. We've seen the head coach at Boston College leave being a head coach to go become a defensive coordinator in the NFL. This is baffling stuff, Coach, because back in the day, if you were a head coach at a big-time program, a Power 5 program, you're not leaving unless they fire you. Coach, the landscape of college football, how do you feel about it currently?
I don't believe it's very good. I don't believe it's sustainable. Let's face it, you guys have all worked in college and the NFL. This is an NFL model that we have now, but we're trying to act like we're an NCAA or a college model, and that isn't the case. So in my opinion, there needs to be a lot of movement towards an NFL professional model, whether you have commissioners, you have contracts, you have salary caps, or NFL has all of this, don't they? You guys know.
Yeah, they do.
But college football doesn't. So guy could be a free agent every single year, depending on how he plays. So in the end, it's not good. And, players just coming in, how much money I get paid, or I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. I don't know. I think at some point it's going to affect the fans where it's going to turn them off as well.
That's a great point. Wow. I mean, we've seen Deion Sanders talk about it, Coach Prime, and we've seen Nick Saban talk about it. So that's a good point. But since we're on college, let's stick to that. When I was about, 16, right? I didn't have a lot of money, but some way they found a way to send me to San Antonio, Texas for All-American game. And one of your players, right, really, really good.
Who was it?
Adrian Peterson.
Ooh.
It's the first time I've ever seen him play, right? Because at the time it was like Rivals.com and all the, the rankings and all that. That was a 5-star, but anyway. But I got a chance to watch him play. I was like, wow, who the hell is this dude? And I followed his career, and obviously he played for you. Can you tell us some good stories about AP or just how good he was?
What's your best AP story, Coach?
Yeah, give us one.
Well, first of all, you're correct. There is nobody like him from the day he walked on campus. Dang. He was an absolute, just the strength, the power, the determination. He was a beast. I walked in the weight room one day, and I see him his freshman year. He's holding 2 80-pound dumbbells in each hand, and he's jumping on the highest plyometric box.
Oh, man. What?
And I'm like, whoa. Like, Smitty, I looked at Jerry Schmidt, our strength coach. I go, he's going to get hurt. Like, what are we doing? He goes, oh, don't worry about him. He got no problem with this. And my man goes up 2-3 times. No, he had that pride too. Not only the talent, as you guys recognized, he had the pride of how he worked. Like, no one was ever going to beat him in a conditioning drill. He was never going to, take anything slow off, whatever. He went full speed all the time. Now, I tried to convince him not to play in our last game, the Fiesta Bowl, because he had already missed 6 games. He missed the whole back half of the year, and it's his 3rd year. So I said, man, you're going to probably go pro. You don't need to play. He cut me off after I was trying to convince him. He says, Coach, no. He says, if they tell me I could play, I'm blank playing.
Good that you got him before the NIL deals, because that'd have been $100 million right there.
100 mil for 1 year, too. As he was going somewhere else to get that other money. Speaking of college football, right, we got a dude up here that played at a big-time program in Texas. You coached at Oklahoma. They had 162 straight weeks of being in the top 25 until Oklahoma snapped it, and you was the head coach. And in that game, our dog up here had 17 tackles, played well in the ball game, but they still lost to you guys, and you snapped it. How did that feel, snapping Texas 162 weeks straight in the top 25, and you bumping them out of there, Coach?
Oh, James, why you got to do that to me?
Right, Coach? Yeah. Right.
17 times is pretty good, though. That's pretty good.
We just had a locker room segment. We bringing you in the locker room, Coach.
You guys are supposed to be boys, you know? What year was that?
2010, Coach. So the 2010 season.
Oh, there goes DeMarco, hurdling people and
DeMarco, y'all had
for touchdowns. Yeah. No, Texas had a lot of good teams in that period. There's no doubt about it. And we were, you know, I got to just say it, we were just a little better.
Yeah, there you go. Coach, let me ask you one more college question, and then I'll ask you a final UFL question before we let you go. Yeah. What was your favorite part about coaching in college? College football is different than the NFL. Obviously, it's different than the UFL. What was your favorite part? For me, it was playing against OU. People ask me, oh, you hate OU? I'm like, no, I don't hate OU. Without OU, there's no Texas. Without Texas, there's no OU. Like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Magic one time said, of course I don't hate Larry. I don't exist without Larry. I like OU. Because without OU, there is no Texas. Without Texas, there's no OU. What is your favorite part about college football?
Yeah, I would agree with you, Emmanuel. I love playing Texas, and I don't mean that arrogantly. The rivalry was special, and playing in the Cotton Bowl was special. Pulling in, the stadium split in half, that was a ball. I mean, you don't get that experience everywhere, So I would agree with you. The big games, those big games, Big 12 championship games, you know, the BCS, the big bowl games were always special, you know, and then that rivalry, OU Texas playing down in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl, man, that was, you know, those experiences were so gratifying and fun. And win or lose, you know, it was great to be in those big moments.
Now, Coach, the UFL season, as we transition to the final question, it does kick off Saturday. What are you doing to get ready for the season as we are near that epic kickoff?
Yeah, we just working through the week, really excited about it. You know, we had our second practice of the week here today, as you guys know how you go through the week. And looking forward to it. It's going to be neat. We're XFL champs, playing Birmingham Stallions, the USFL champs, in the very first game. They're coached by Skip Holtz. Yeah, very first game, noon kickoff. Noon kickoff, and right here in Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And Skip Holtz is the head coach of their team, who always does a great job. And they're back-to-back champs of the USFL.
I was about to say they put champ together.
So, absolutely. So it's exciting. And with all the talent, like we talked about earlier, that's in the league now, this is going to be exciting. It's going to be covered by ESPN, ABC, as well as Fox. So a lot of great coverage, too.
That's amazing. Well, Coach, it has been an honor, and audience, I hope you realize what an honor it was to hear from one of the most brilliant minds the game of football at any level has ever seen. Coach, thank you. Good luck this season, my friend.
Good luck, Coach.
I appreciate it, fellas. Great to be on with you. All the best.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.